Across the world, humans have carved, painted, and worn fearsome faces, not to terrify one another, but to scare away something even darker, evil itself. Hesa faces, grinning with fangs, bulging with wide open eyes, tongues outstretched in challenge, are found on mountaintops and temples, on doorways and foreheads, on weapons and walls. They're not just art, they are warnings. But why do we create monsters to fight monsters? Why do we believe that the best way to protect ourselves is to look terrifying ourselves? From the wrathful gods of the Himalayas to the snarling masks of Japan, from African ancestor spirits to European gargoyles, cultures have long turned to grotesque visages as spiritual defense mechanisms. These are not demons. These are demon fighters. Their ugliness is their power. Their horror is their healing. These are the evil water faces, and today, we journey across time and continents to uncover why we make them, what they mean, and how fear itself became our greatest protection. In Tibetan Buddhism, fearsome doesn't mean evil. Figures like Mahakala and Palden Lamo may appear terrifying, with bulging eyes, flaming hair, and skull garlands, but they are wrathful deities, divine protectors who use their ferocity to ward off inner and outer evils. These guardian spirits embody compassion through destruction, obliterating ignorance, obstacles, and negative forces that hinder spiritual growth. In Japan, fearsome faces protect rather than threaten. Oni demons appear in festivals like Setsuban, where people throw beans to drive them away, symbolically casting out evil. In no theater, masks like Hanya, with their fierce expressions, embody jealousy and sorrow. By confronting these emotions through ritual and drama, Japanese culture turns terror into a protective force. In India, fierce faces guard the sacred. Kirtimukha, a lion-like devouring visage on temple gateways, symbolizes the destruction of ego and negativity. Bhairava, the fearsome form of Shiva, stands as a protector of holy spaces. Rooted in tantric traditions, these images are not evil, they are guardians of the divine. In African traditions like Benin, Yoruba, and Dogon, ritual masks channel ancestral spirits. Worn during ceremonies, they frighten off evil, restore balance, and embody spiritual power, not just art, but guardians in disguise. In Europe, grotesque gargoyles on cathedrals weren't just drains, they scared off evil. In Greek myth, Medusa's face, terrifying yet powerful, was used as a protective symbol. Across Europe, fear was carved into stone as a shield. Aztec gods like Tezcatlipoca had fearsome visages meant to command respect and ward off harm. Both Aztec and Mayan cultures used ritual masks and carvings on temples as protective symbols, blending power, warfare, and divine presence. Thus we see that across cultures and continents, terrifying faces, whether carved in stone, worn as masks, or painted in vivid colors, have served a common purpose: to protect, not to harm. They embody the ancient belief that what frightens us can also guard us. Fear, ritualized and reimagined, becomes a shield, turning the monstrous into the sacred. There's a psychological reason why these faces affect us so deeply. Humans are wired to respond to eyes and faces, even carved or painted ones. It's called pareidolia, our tendency to see human features in objects. When a fierce gaze stares down from a wall or mask, our brain reacts as if it's being watched. This triggers alertness, caution, even reverence. The illusion of being seen keeps us in check. Sometimes, all it takes to change behavior is the feeling that someone or something is watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Or just drop a comment telling us about the fierce protectors from your culture.